However, Tessica calls upon the greatest of all manga power-ups, a flashback. He remembers his time rehabilitating after surgery when he was hindered by an odd mental barrier that prevented him from lifting his arm above his shoulder. While trying to overcome this, he met a young girl named Miyuki, who is yet another character I wish Konami had made the protagonist. One day, as the two are practicing together, random tennis bullies show up and decide to do what every other unnamed character in this entire series does, be assholes for no reason. They demand to play against Tessica, and after they beat him, they brag about it to no end despite being fully aware of his crippling injury. Who the hell can even take pride in that?
I totally beat that track star who recently broke his foot.
Miyuki stands up for Tessica and takes on the bullies herself, which in my book makes her the most awesome character in this whole series. Of course, she gets kicked around a good amount since she's playing against guys nearly twice her age, but the sheer amount of guts she displays finally gets Tessica to overcome his mental cap. And then he proceeds to tear the bullies some new ones. So we cut back to the match between Kabaji and Tessica, and it suddenly starts raining. Kabaji can't handle the unexpected weather conditions, so Tessica wins.
Wait, that's bullshit. If it starts raining any heavier than like a light drizzle, you're supposed to delay the match. If weather conditions ever get to the point where they would start affecting the match, you delay it. It's in the rules.
Alright, so then there's a doubles match with Kikumaru and Oishi, except that it's suspended due to rain.
So what? It's only okay for them to play in the rain if it gives Seigaku an advantage? That seems like blatant favoritism by the refs, not to mention terribly inconsistent writing.
So the next day, the doubles match actually begins and we blow through it at an absurd pace. And I mean absurd. They reach the tiebreaker in just 3 chapters and then it slows down to a crawl. Right when Kikumaru and Oishi are about to lose, they're suddenly surrounded by an aura that encompasses both of them, and they begin playing in perfect sync. In fact, spectators actually refer to the state that they've entered as synchro.
I wonder how many people are actually going to get all the references I'm making today.
But right when they're about to win, Kikumaru stops Oishi from hitting the game winner because apparently they're so in sync that they can read each other's thoughts, and he says that Oishi's wrist injury was at its limit.
First of all, you gain telepathy by playing tennis. Second of all, why didn't you hit it? You were right there! Come on!
So they lose and afterwards say they don't remember a second of the time they were in synchro, of course, and it all comes down to the final match which pits Echizen against Yote's captain Atabe. It looks like a typical back and forth match. They both use a bunch of different techniques and then, oh my god, so much ink! For some reason, whenever Atabe uses this World of Ice technique of his, Konami decides to put the entire panel in negatives, which is really friggin' stupid when almost every time it's a full or 2-page spread. And you can barely tell what's going on, either. And what the hell does this art style have to do with ice anyway? God, so Echizen ends up using the Tessica zone, which he apparently just learned how to do, and manages to fight back. They go back and forth some more until eventually, I'm totally serious, a skylight falls onto the court and Echizen hits the ball through it to win a point.
What is this, Happy Gilmore all of a sudden? Not only is this ridiculous, unentertaining, and nonsensical because, again, the rules would call for a let and so the point shouldn't be counted, but worst of all, none of the glass shards impale Echizen and kill him!
So we fast forward to the tiebreaker, which somehow goes for more than 200 points before both Echizen and Atabe collapse in exhaustion at the same time. Both of them get to their feet, but Atabe apparently did it without actually waking up first. Don't ask me how, I don't know. So he can't play on, and Echizen wins. Meanwhile, Kentaro's team, Shiten Hoji, plays against Fudomine. You know, those guys I went on about in the last video who are really cool. Unfortunately, Fudomine gets creamed in the first 2 sets, which leaves their tournament hopes on the shoulders of their captain, Tachibana Kippei. Tachibana's opponent turns out to be a former teammate and friend of his, Chitose Senri, who can also use the state of self-actualization. We get a flashback to explain how in the past Tachibana accidentally injured Chitose's eye. When he found out that Chitose quit the club in order to take time to recover, Tachibana also quit and transferred to Fudomine.
Because the best way to solve your problems is to run away from them.
As the match between Chitose and Tachibana wears on, Chitose states that he actually went to some scientific facility and performed tests on himself to research the state of self-actualization. Chitose reveals that there are 2 more advanced versions of the state besides Tessica's pinnacle of hard work and that he has achieved one of them, which turns him into one half of Siegfried and Roy! Well, alright, actually it's called the Pinnacle of Great Wisdom, which lets him foresee how a point will be played out just before it occurs.
Which is really the most useless ability ever when you think about it. Alright, time to use my foresight to determine how this point will be played out. I'm going to lose, crap!
So Chitose wins, and naturally Seigaku and Shiten Hoji play next in the semifinals. Things start with Fuji, who hasn't done much of note recently, against Shiten Hoji's captain Shiraishi. What's bizarre about this match is Shiraishi doesn't even have a gimmick. His gimmick is that he's perfect. Like, that's it. So he kicks Fuji's ass up and down the court until, ta-da! Echizen encourages Fuji by making a smart remark. I hate him so much. Fuji manages a tremendous comeback effort, but in the end he still loses.
Following this, we have the worst match in the entire series. No, seriously, it's actually the very worst.
For some reason, Momoshiro and Kaido are paired up to play doubles, and their opponents are... oh, good God, what the hell? Alright, the guy with the afro wig is Konjiki Koharu, and his partner is Hitoji Yuji. Their strategy is seriously to make a bunch of jokes while the match is going on, which throws their opponents off balance. Although, how the hell anyone could find these jokes to be funny is beyond me. Also, the two of them are gay lovers, and this is one of the most disrespectful, offensive portrayals of homosexual men I've ever seen. They go out of their way to grope other guys, they make a blowjob joke, and Konjiki in particular seems to flirt with every guy he sees.
So the moral of the story is that all gay men are clowns and sex maniacs. What a nice lesson for your readers, Konomi. I am glad we live in such a progressive age.
Momoshiro and Kaido counterattack by putting on luchador masks in order to hide their facial expressions. How the hell this prevents them from actually laughing or being homophobic, I have no idea. They pull off some trickery where each pretends to beat the other in order to throw off their opponents, and eventually they end up winning.
Which is pretty weak until you consider that in doubles tennis there is a set order to who receives and who serves the ball, and they should have been able to tell who was who that way. When you take that into consideration, it's a load of bull!
Next there is a power match featuring Kawamura that's so bloody it looks like it was directed by Quentin Tarantino. It ends with Kawamura hitting the ball so hard that his opponent actually breaks his wrist trying to return it, and Kawamura wins by forfeit.
God, so many scenes of middle schoolers brutally injuring each other. Might as well call the series Tennis Royale.
So then we have Tessica and Inui in a doubles match. However, right before the match begins, it's revealed that Shitanhoji's lineup order is different than was stated earlier, and Chitose is to play in the doubles match instead of some random other guy. Chitose objects because he wanted to quit the team, but the coach says no, get your ass on the court. Seriously, Chitose tried to quit, but then he didn't even miss a single match, so what was the point of this anyway? So for some weird reason, Chitose's partner and Inui agree to stay out of the match so that Tessica and Chitose can play singles instead.
Why the hell does the Empire even allow this? The rules are, each match between teams consists of 3 singles and 2 doubles. You can't just decide to play 4 singles for no reason. It's against the rules that you yourself established hundreds of chapters ago. And another thing, if you're just going to have Tessica and Chitose play singles in the first place, why the hell have them sign up for doubles at all? And another thing, one of Segaku's doubles pairs is out of commission because of Oishi's wrist injury, so why the hell are you breaking up the other one? Especially if one of those players isn't going to play his doubles match at all. It doesn't make sense!
So for a while, Chitose gains the upper hand using the Pinnacle of Great Wisdom, which even beats out Tessica's Pinnacle of Hard Work, but then it turns out that Tessica has also achieved the Pinnacle of Great Wisdom, and since 2 bullshit tennis powers are greater than 1, Tessica wins.
So that's that. Segaku clinches the win, and they move on to the finals, and... Wait, why do I feel like I'm forgetting something?
Oh yeah, hey, Kentaro never got to play, and he points this out too since he really wanted to have a match with Echizen. Echizen responds by being a prick, which we've all come to expect of him. Kentaro challenges Echizen to an informal match, and so...
Wait a minute. In the first round, Segaku beat Higa in the first 3 sets, but they decided to play the last 2 anyway. Why is this an issue? Aren't they just going to play?
What the hell, so he's just leaving? That's it? All that build-up for Kentaro when we never get to see him play? And it breaks the convention established in the first goddamn round!
Why the hell can't Konomi even follow his own freaking rules?
Oh, thank God, some guy that Kentaro met on his travels begs Echizen to play him, so they agree to play just 1 point. A point that lasts for over 40 minutes? How does 1 point last for over 40 minutes?
You shouldn't even be able to get 2 people to hold a volley for 40 minutes on purpose, let alone when they're using every stupid trick Konomi's thought of before and then some.
And what the hell is this? Super ultra great delicious all-out mountains? This is beyond mockery! And for some reason, smoke just appears out of nowhere when Echizen hits it back to cover up what happens next, and then the ball is split in half, and each half is on different sides of the net, so the point is called a tie.
No. Rules? Impossible. You can't make 1 point tie? No. Okay. Just almost done. Just 1 more round, it's just the finals, and it's over. Okay. What happens next is